All right, welcome back, YouTube. You are back again with Rich Life, and here we are going to continue our Super Bowl countdown. We're going to be providing you some snacks. Hopefully, they're fairly easy and that you can enjoy with family and friends. Maybe involve your kids. And so today, what we're going to do is we're going to take this steak, some onions, cheese, and then what we're going to do is we're going to stuff these peppers, bread them, wash them, bread them, and we're gonna deep fry them. So it's like stuffed peppers, but with a little bit of twist. And yeah, so make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll get right to it. So basically, this is a New York strip. I've got the bone in, so I'm gonna take this off the bone. I could probably leave it on the bone and then just cook it whole, and then that probably will add more flavor to it. The reason I'm not gonna do that is because what I'm trying to achieve, cooking it whole would probably give me a different result than what I'm looking for. And so what I'm going for is kind of like a Philly steak, if you will. So I don't want to just cook this thing whole, because then we're gonna have different temperatures. It's gonna look different, the bark, and then when I go to this, after you cook it, it's gonna be dry. So I want to keep this like, raw, and then chop it up and cook it chopped up, kind of like ground beef style, and that way it stays tender. The flavor isn't lost. It's just different if you cook it whole versus chopping it up. So I'm gonna just go ahead and give this a good chop. Again, like I said, I'm going for the consistency of a Philly steak. I'm not trying to go too small on these. You could. I'm really trying to just make it stretch. As you see, I got a lot of peppers over here, so I don't want too small, but I don't want big chunks either. I really want them to be able to cook, like I said, all the way through, kind of like a cheese steak, or ground beef, or any kind of meat really that you would stuff peppers with. Kind of want to keep that consistency going. And so once this gets in the pan, we're gonna treat it just like ground beef. Very simple. Treat it just like ground beef. So once you get this good, essentially, again, you probably want to have everything already prepared, laid out. Of course, seasoning your stuff you're going to be working with. Definitely, I chose to season the breadcrumbs. You can season the flour or the egg wash. It doesn't matter which way you season, you just want to make sure you season. Next, we take these, we go to the pan, we grill this down, make sure it's really good. We're going to add some onions in there, and then we'll move on to the next step of mixing in the cheese, getting these bad boys stuffed, dipped, washed, and ready for the deep fryer. So let's go do that now. Nice good sizzle. My pan is hot, the grease is ready, and of course give it a little seasoning. Just give those a quick stir. Alright, so we got some good color on the onions. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our steak. Go ahead and just move that around, let the steak get heated up. I would recommend waiting to season your steak because remember, we kind of chopped it up and we're treating it like ground beef or maybe a Philly steak, and so seasoning it now, you're probably going to lose 80% of your seasoning. Let the steak come up to temperature and then give it a good season. and you'll like the end quality a whole lot better. So we just move those around, let them get, like I said, come up to temperature. You see we still got our onions over here, but they're not so much on the heat as the meat is. Pause. And then, yeah, so we'll just move these around, let these get acclimated with the heat. And then in about another 15 or so seconds, then we'll start adding some seasoning in here. Then we'll go ahead in with the seasoning. Make sure we season those generously. We want all those flavors to compact into one. So now that's got a good seasoning on it. Now we'll introduce everybody as everybody. Now because these chopped up, now remember we chopped the steak up, so it doesn't have to go the whole way. They're gonna cook a whole lot faster because they're in tiny pieces. We're starting to get that bark on the steak, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cut the heat. And then at this point, we're gonna go ahead and mix this with the cheese, because next we're gonna go to the poppers. Now it's time to transfer. Remember, this is steak we're working with, so even if it's not to your desired temperature, it's still gonna cook once you take it off the heat. We just don't want it too done. So go ahead and add that. This is the bowl that we're gonna mix our cheese in. Make sure we get all those little goodies. Get the fond of the pan. Set that aside. We'll be back with the cheese. First, we'll come with some sour cream. Nice generous serving. And then we will next we get the ricotta cheese. We got a good mix. Make sure we get a good nice serving of that. And we just kind of want to work this around together. I'm gonna add some more cheese. That should be good. That's a nice consistency. Falls right off. Yeah, that should be good. Alright, so now we commence to the stuffing. This one, as you can see, they're already hollowed out. It's probably what you want to start with. Hollowed out pepper. Make sure you get all that goodness. So I hope you saw that there. Basically what you want to do is you want to take your steak, stuff it down in those peppers, but then you also want to take some of that cheese sauce and just kind of top it off. Just make sure the holes are filled. You don't want your stuff falling out in the fryer. So once you get it all stuffed, just go back with some of that sauce. Just kind of fill it up. Patch it through. Should look something like that. And that's what you want, because that's what's gonna have to stay together as it goes through the next process. All right, so here we go. First up, as we know, flour. And you kind of might want to be gentle with these. They're peppers, you know, so just make sure you're not just tossing them around every which way. Got that. Now we go to crumbs. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. And back to the wash. And back to crumbs. Set aside to the pan. Now you just want to continue this process until these look like this. Alright, so now we're going to put them in the grease. These are kind of big, so we'll do a little bit at a time. And down goes Frazier. That should be good. See, poking through there, so that's really good. That's really good. It means it's gonna be really cheesy on the inside. Nice crispy outside, you can hear it. And let those drain and rinse and repeat. Not literally rinse, but you get it. Remember, you don't have to do these too long because the steak's already done. Essentially, you just want to get that outside looking really good like that. Maybe get you a little bit of peek through with the cheese, let you know it's done. You can see that's really crisp over there on the pepper. That's what you're going for. Enjoy.